Hey, so more thoughts on my experiences as a targeted individual, gang-stalked individual. Um, but whenever I was a kid, seemed like there was a lot more literature, more books and such about the concentration camps in World War II when I was a kid. It just seems like there was an outpouring of a lot of literature on it. Maybe that was just in my mind, but I never thought we'd come as a society to the day to where George Orwell and his 1984 would actually be the setting, the testing grounds, an era of where we would actually arrive to. And then so everything, if history repeats itself, all the enemy has to do is to whitewash history. So when it repeats itself, it'll come as a blind side to most of us. But as history repeats itself, I was able to protect myself from my learnings as a senior in high school and also freshman in high school from my world history class and from Mr. Florence's class. He was very passionate about what he was teaching, and knowing what happened during World War II is how I was bred to stay ahead of the curve, because if history repeats itself, then the future is not ambiguous. Even your DNA will repeat itself. I tell my kids, I said, our future is not that ambiguous. Take a good hard look at your parents. Their maladies more than likely might become your maladies if you are able to circumvent it with some critical thinking, such as if one of your parents had diabetes, watch out. One of them had alcoholism, watch out. And then as you grow up, you take in the side effects of the alcoholism, of the unchecked diabetic dispositions, and what that looks like. And for you smokers, what that looks like. I can pretty much look at somebody and be able to pick up on what's going on based on my clinical settings of my experiences at work as a paramedic in Houston, Texas Medical Center. But thanks to the gang stalking, it blew me up a new asshole, and then took me out of a career, because there were so many of the government grubbers, gold diggers, that were willing to sell out somebody for a few PSYOP assignments. They're just as crusty as ever and have no sense of morality in their compass, because it's all how they can get right now without having to work hard for it. So what if they sell out their soul? They don't even know how to love each other, let alone themselves. So I'm all like, why would I get upset about that? But nonetheless, so as history repeated itself, I was able to stay abreast of all the foul play. Not to mention, wasn't my first time being a heavily railroaded, targeted individual. So all these assholes ever did was train me. But nonetheless, as history repeats itself, if you've been watching my videos, Chief Little Flower, Belly Fire Dancer, then you know about the trifecta, and you know about the satanic apprenticeship, Look up those videos. Um, I'll link them. But what we have here, as this is all a Nazi brainchild, and it is worldwide, you know who your New World Order is, right? Fucking Nazis, honeys. The Nazis is your New World Order. So, but don't even think about them so hard. It's what they represent. They represent child molesters. When you think Nazi, think child molester. Instead of New World Order, that's their covens, bitches. But Nazi at that. So it's the Nazis trying to take over the world, bitch. There you go, I taught you. And next time, I'll give you the full lesson. But hopefully you can be sober enough, present of mind enough to take it in if you're a goddamn government grubbing, gold digging, dick sucking. Unethical, donkey fed, socialist fascist individuals who need to grow up and tear that beast down from the inside, because 10 to 1, if you're one of them government grubbing gang stalkers, you can obliterate that machine from the inside out and become the New World Order of the ethical flavor. Not many can stand up to that plate, but glory be to the ones that take their families with them and reteach them that everybody makes mistakes and now it's time to get on the right side of tracks. Be that kind of ethical prodigal family to come home. Imagine the notoriety that would bring in the beginning. But once everybody hops onto that bandwagon, the time was 20 minutes ago. At any rate, my message today is that's who's vying for New World Order. It's you goddamn Nazis, hun. The Nazis wanted to be Grand Poopah. And all of your supporters of child molesters, they want to be Grand Poopah. So when you think Nazi, think child molestation, think covens, think sacrifice culture, think demonic, satanic practices of worship and practitioners. But don't take my word for it. Just let it plant a seed. And you watch out throughout the next timeline and era as these dumbass gang stalkers take a plunge and get their face grinded into the concrete because all they ever cared about was coming up off somebody else's detriment. All they ever cared about was getting rich off someone else's demise because they're fake rich. They're crusty, they're fake rich. Who wants to be hobnobbing with that kind of sort? Because the moment you sleep, they're going to gut you. And then guess what they'll do? They'll sell their own children into all of that gang stalking so they can make money off their children. That's how it works in there. So your future, gang stalkers, is not ambiguous. And the future of our nation is not ambiguous. Shit. The Nazis tried to run the world once. They're at it again, honey. That's evidenced by Operation Paperclip. So, you've all been apprised. Update your sticky notes. It's the Nazis trying to be the New World Order buffoons. Pretty smart, though. They got this far. That should concern you.